back to Bacon at Bernie's. Today I will be teaching you how to make a delicious lemon tart with a nice meringue on top to torch. Super easy, so let's get started. Alright, so here in my mixing bowl I have my sticks of butter and vanilla. I'm just gonna mix that up a little bit just to break them. Okay, now I'm gonna add my sifted powdered sugar with a little bit of salt. We're gonna go ahead and blend that together. Okay, we got that nice and mixed. No lumps of powdered sugar. Now we're gonna add our eggs. Gonna do this in maybe thirds, just so the flour doesn't go everywhere. Just make sure, start at the slowest speed on your mixer, or just pulse it even if that's a little too fast. Starting to struggle, but that's okay. Almost there. Now this last addition of flour, it's okay if it doesn't mix in all the way, we can do that by hand. And there you have it. Just gonna flour our surface a little bit. Just so we can knead it a little bit and then wrap it up in plastic so it can chill in the refrigerator while we make our curd. That way we're not wasting any time. I'm gonna divide this into two. That way we can get it flatter, and once we begin to roll, we don't get too much dough that's gonna get to room temperature too quickly, because we like for it to be a little bit chilled when rolling so we can put it in our tart shells. And there you have it. Just gonna put these on a sheet pan and put them in the refrigerator. Let them chill while we make the lemon curd. Okay, so to begin our lemon curd, I'm gonna turn on my burner. Alright, so here I have my sugar with a little salt. I have my lemon juice. I'm gonna bring that to a boil. And while this boils, I'm gonna mix my sugar with my eggs. This is a good whisk for gravy, by the way. Good to get those edges nice and flat. So we're just gonna wait for this to come to a boil, and then we're gonna mix this into our eggs slowly so we don't cook the eggs, and then we'll pour it back in to bring the heat back up, and then keep stirring until it becomes thick. Bring this over just so you can see. It's this way. Nice and steady. Bring this back here. Turn our flame back on. And keep it at a medium-low. Okay, so we've been stirring constantly, getting the edges, make sure there's no cooked eggs, and it's thickened now. So what I'm gonna do is turn off our heat. I'm gonna strain this onto a pan, cover it with plastic wrap, and let it chill in the refrigerator until it sets. And while we're doing that, we're gonna bake our tart shells. Now you want to put it on a sheet pan like this. It has more surface area, so it's a thinner layer. It'll help it cool much, much faster. So this is what we did not want in the curd, little lumps. So now, just to be safe, I'll grab a clean one, scrape the bottom. All right, so now you want to create a skin on top of the curd. So what I'm going to do is just place it there. Alright. And now while this cools, just so I can clean as I go, I'm gonna take a break just to clean my area and my dishes, and then we'll continue on to the tarts. All right, everyone, so here is half of our dough. Now it's time to roll it out, and I'm gonna use these individual tart shells. That way I can make as many as I can. Just gonna powder our surface with a little bit of flour. Go. Alright, so here I have a new gadget that I'm gonna try out. This is to help shape it perfectly. So you just cut a hole, cut a round, and then just lift it in there. Just kind of help it in the beginning. And then just push down. Then you'll want to just trim around the edge. You could just rip it off, but I think this will help it get a cleaner cut, or not. We'll make it look good. I forgot to spray it. Take two. So easy fix. Put that one to the side. Once again, we'll cut around. Spray this. And now you don't have to use this little gadget. I just wanted to try something new. It's just not gonna work now, is it? I'll be sending that back. So, I guess we could still use the cutter. And then just place it in there. Make sure you push against the edges. And there you have it. So there's two methods you can bake this. Use to bake this. You can take a dinner fork and dock it this way. That way it doesn't rise, create pockets. Like that. Or cut your round. Go. Okay, then you can get some parchment paper, place it in here as well. And you can use either ceramic beads or some beans, or just any small grain that can fit in there. And that'll do the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and dock it. So here are 3 shells that I went ahead and baked. I had the one on the right with the beans as weights. That's why it's a little blonder in the center. And then I had the other 2 just docked with a fork. So personal preference, whichever works for you. I baked these because the ones that I have in the oven now took a little longer, so I wanted to get the ball rolling. So yeah, the rest of them are in the oven, and right now I'm gonna start the meringue for the topping. So let's get started with that. So on the stove, I have my sugar and water. Gonna bring that to a boil of 240. And then once that gets close to the boiling point, I'm gonna start whipping my egg whites so we can begin the process of getting it nice and fluffy. So here I have a candy thermometer, and it kind of helps you here tell you exactly what the boiling points are. So here 240 is softball. This you can get at any store, Walmart, the grocery store. So I think I got this one off of Amazon. It's got this little hook on the side for the pot. Just clamp it there and then just gauge it here. Okay, so it looks like our temperature is at 230. So I'm gonna go ahead and start beating the egg whites. Once the egg whites get a little frothy, I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt. Don't do that. Alright, so slowly and carefully you're going to pour your syrup on the side of it because you don't want it to splatter everywhere around your bowl. Now we're just going to beat that until it cools, cool to the touch around the bowl. So real quick, I just wanted to show you, I got some more vanilla beans. These you can get at Amazon, Whole Foods. I even saw them at Tom Thumb. They sell them where the spices are, one in a little jar. So I don't have vanilla paste. I actually ran out, which is what I normally add to my meringue and to all my recipes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scrape a pod and throw it in there. Just as good. I'm gonna trim off the ends. Slice long, lengthwise. And then you're just gonna scrape out the inside. And now, if you use vanilla beans, you can actually, instead of just throwing this away, you can mix it in some sugar, and then with time, you can create your own vanilla sugar. That should be good. So while this mixes and cools, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare our lemon curd into a piping bag. That way we can try to make everything as uniform as possible. All right, you guys, it's finally assembly time. So here I have 3 piping bags with 3 different tips. Just figured I'd kind of play with the design. So in these bags, I'm gonna place the meringue. Now normally in my tart shells, I like to brush them with white chocolate, and it helps create a barrier between the curd and the shell. So they last a little longer without getting soggy too quick. I will be doing that for the rest of them, but these are just for tonight so we can taste it. All right, so here we go. Blob. Uh-oh. Okay, so just gonna tap that. Okay, now first one we're gonna play with is the round tip, size 10. So let's do little teardrops inward. Now let's see which one's this. This is the Wilton 32. We'll do shells on this one, almost the same. Sorry guys, I ran out of life on my torch here, so I went and got Big Daddy. Just enough to give it color. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll make sure to put the recipe in the description box below. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Until next time, have a good day.